Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Celesté and I make videos revolving on vegan and cruelty-free makeup tutorials and reviews. And today I'm actually going to be trying out Palette Bingo. So I'm going to be trying it with the Morphe and Jacklyn Hill palette. I pick 5 different colors and this is the look that we end up with. If you want to see how that happens, then keep on watching. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pick 5 numbers that stand for B-I-N-G-O, and we're gonna start right now with the very first number, which is 5. So we got 5. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the 5th color in the Jacklyn Hill palette, which is this one, and it's called Faint. That is a really light pink shimmer, really gorgeous. Okay, and the next number, 2. Getting 2 shimmers. And we're gonna jump into the Jacklyn Hill palette, this color, which is Beam, which is a very light shimmer. Okay, let's jump into our 3rd color, 1, another shimmer. This is gonna be difficult. This is in light in the palette, which is quite similar to Beam, but it seems to have a even more pale appearance. So let's go ahead into number 4, which is 6. Okay, and in this palette, this is the color Sissy, which is this beautiful pink gold. I actually underestimated this color in this palette. It's really beautiful. I really didn't realize that it had such potential, that it was so bright and beautiful, but you know, we're gonna appreciate that today. And finally, our last color, 7. You know, we're gonna appreciate that today. And finally, our last color, 7, which in this palette is called Little Lady. And it is very similar to Sissy, but instead of a pink gold shift, it's a red gold shift. So I'm actually really terrified for this because I have all shimmers on this hand. I've never done a look with all shimmer before, so this is going to be interesting. If I'm being honest, I kind of hate this. I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just gonna try it without any new shades. I think I'm just gonna try and challenge myself and do it with only colors I was given. So let's get into it. If you see me looking to the side, it's just because I have my mirror right here. I think I am gonna go into a matte shade just because I've never done a look with all shimmers and I don't know if I'm ready for that. So I'm just gonna dip into a light brown shade in the palette and I'm just gonna pat that right all over my eye. I really love palette bingos for multiple reasons. I think that if you're someone who wants to refrain from constantly buying new makeup and you really feel like, man, you know, this palette, it's so boring, I only can do so many looks with it, I really think giving yourself a challenge can spark creativity and cause you to use your palettes a lot more. So now that I've pat this matte shade all over, I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the shade in light in the palette. I'm going to use that to go in the corner and just kind of light up the corner a bit. I am quite nervous about this because I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. I'm going to go ahead and dip into Beam, and right next to In Light, I'm going to pat that color on. Okay, so now that I have Beam packed right next to In Light, I'm going to go ahead and dip into the shade Faint from the palette. And I'm going to pack it right next to Beam. I'm really scared this is going to turn out badly. Okay. And now I'm really kind of just going along the palette. And right next to Faint, I'm going to go ahead and pat into Little Sissy. And right next to that color, I'm going to pat that there. And then finally, I'm going to tap into Little Lady. And right in the corner, to lay that shade down and bring it into the crease. So, if I'm being honest, I kind of hate this. This is definitely not looking good. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start from scratch just because this is not turning out the way I want. Alright, so lid is primed. And you know what? I really wanted to stick to only the colors that were picked from the challenge, but as you can see, that really did not turn out well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start using colors from the palette, just different shades, to try and make this look as good as possible. I'm going to make a halo eye today. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into a light brown shade, and I'm going to pat this all over the eye. Now, I was debating on cutting out my mistake, but you know what? Mistakes in makeup happen all the time. And so if you're worried that, this look didn't come out, I'm not a good makeup artist, that's not true. You are a good makeup artist. You just gotta make it work. So I'm gaining some inspiration from these red shimmers here. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip into this red color in the palette, and I'm gonna start to pack that on the outer corners of my lid. Now after I'm done packing on the outer corners of my lid, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my concealer brush, dip into some concealer, and I'm going to kind of cut out the middle of my eye. Okay, so now that I have my cut crease, I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the darkest shimmer in the palette, in my color palette, which is Little Sissy, which is this shade right here. And I'm just gonna pat that on the lowest point of the halo eye. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is called Little Lady. This one's called Sissy. And so I'm gonna go ahead and grab Sissy and pat that right above Little Lady, just to create that ombre. Now, right above Sissy, I'm going to pat Faint, which is this lighter pink shade. And I'm just gonna pat that right on the very top. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip back into that red shade and pat right over the sides. And then I'm going to go on the very top over where I patted Faint. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab that red shade and start to make a kind of winged shape with my shadow. and blend it out. Okay, so now that I have the halo eye, I'm going to go ahead and dip into In Light, which is this shade here. And I'm just going to pat that right in the center of where I placed my halo, because this shade is brighter than all the other ones. And so it's really gonna make that halo eye pop. Now I'm gonna go into another brush and I'm going to dip into Beam. And I'm gonna go right into my inner corner and my brow bone and just add this highlight here. I'm going to dip in with a smaller brush and go into a very dark brown shade in the palette. And I'm just gonna go in the very corner, hugging the halo, just to add some depth. I'm gonna go back into the red shade and blend it out. Okay, now let me go ahead and finish my other eye, do my base, liner, and lash off camera, and I'll come back to finish the lower lash line. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the lower lashes now. So all I'm going to be doing for the lower lash line is going to be dipping into the red shade that we were using for the lid, and I'm just going to smoke that really close to the lower lash line. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. And now what I'm going to do is dip back into the bright shade that I used to highlight, and I'm just gonna go right over those same spots. Take my finger and make sure that the highlight is blended into the eye look. And last but never least, I'm going to go ahead and set it in place. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this look. I really enjoyed making it. I didn't think that I would get to 7 looks on my eye. That's really shocking to me because I was even scared to do 5, and yet here we are with 7. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Comment down below suggestions for future videos or what you thought about this one. And don't forget to subscribe because I will be posting more beauty content every single Friday. Thank you again for watching, guys. Bye!